pretty much since I've been on the Corn Ferry Tour, I've putted with a mallet. I started with Phantom 11. I think that was one of the first ones that I putted with, and I've been kind of here ever since. And I think there's an element of forgiveness to it. I've just grown to like the way that they look. I look at a blade now and I have more trouble lining it up. So, you know, here I get a big long line. I put a black stripe on my golf ball and, you know, I can at least get pretty close to lining myself up properly. It's kind of dummy proof a little bit. So that's part of the reason. I had a knuckle neck for a long time. So kind of like plumber's neck, but very similar. And it was face balanced, so I had kind of a real long neck. And I putted with that for probably 2 years. As my stroke started to improve, I decided to try this one. And I just felt like the middle of the face was more apparent to me with a little bit more rotation and a little bit more release into the ball. I felt like I just struck it more in the middle, which kind of helped my speed, made it roll a little tighter. So that's kind of where I've ended up with this, and I've stuck with it, and I feel like I've putted better and better, kind of as my mechanics keep improving and as I get, you know, more familiar with it. You have to start with something you like the look of, and then you kind of go from there with, you know, what kind of alignment aid is functionally the best for me. It suits my eye, it gets me to line up correctly. And, you know, from there it's been small tweaks, you know, like a little bit of loft and lie here and there. But I've really kind of settled on a pretty standard setup. It's, you know, I think it's standard lie and it's maybe a little bit less loft. In New York, Ryder Cup, I don't know what there is to say about it. Really, it's one of those times you kind of find yourself standing in an interesting situation. Probably, if not once in a lifetime, you know, there won't be many putts like that in my life. So, you know, I kind of had one chance to make a putt, and I'm really thankful that I did, because it turns out to be one of the coolest moments of my life, certainly of my golfing career. It's something I won't forget for a long time. I actually had hit a bunch of putts to that whole location in practice, and I knew watching Justin when he, you know, as he's getting ready to hit the putt, you're like, okay, he's going to make it. I have this to tie the match. And then I saw him set up, and I was like, that's high. Like, I know that that's not going in. And I'm kind of sitting there in disbelief, like wondering what's going on. He hits it and misses high. And yeah, and all of a sudden you have a putt to win the match, which I didn't think was going to be possible for a minute there. So yeah, it was just one of those. I tried really hard once that happened. I kind of shook off like the thought of having a putt to win, and, you know, picked a line, got in there, went through all my little checks, and tried not to look up for as long as I could. And looked up, and it was kind of right where I thought. And yeah, so for me, like, step one is ball position. I mean, I get that right. I get my right hand on, I feel like. And then once I've got that where I want, I go in with my left, kind of get my grip how I want, which is, you know, these two thumbs kind of just together there. And then from there, I typically have to like lean in to get my head and my eyes where I want. And then I tend to be open, so I usually just shut my shoulders because I know I'm never really going to get them shut. And then my last one is I usually need just a tiny forward press to get the face square. I tend to aim left a little bit, so I've kind of built in some like little additional pieces to try to get me more square, which is the little shoulder move and then a tiny forward press, just to try to creep up on square.